Good day everyone, I am Vladimir Saitas and our report for today is all about designing organizational structure. So I will going to discuss what is designing organizational structure. So the organizational structure also determines how information flows between levels within the company. For example, in a centralized structure, decisions flow from the top down, while in decentralized structure, decision-making power is distributed among various levels of the organization. Having an organizational structure in place allows companies to remain efficient and focused. So basically, organizational design refers to how an organization is structured to execute its strategic plan and achieve its goals. In practice, it is not so simple because people work together to use information, materials, system, processes, and each other to get human work done. Each organization must determine what works best for them. As a result, you may find some elements of every design structure in a single organization. Furthermore, organizational designs have changed rapidly over the past couple of decades, primarily because of the accelerating speed of change. Changes that once took a decade or more new happen in months or weeks. Organizational design involves implementing organizational structure and systems that align to an organization's core strategies.
A pleasant day everyone, I am Aldi Tangkian, so I'll be the one who will be discussing about the basic legal form business. So there's a type of basic legal form business. So since my given topic was focuses to sole proprietorship and partnership that given to me, I will just focus only two types of basic legal form business. So as you can see to our PowerPoint presentation, it's written the definition of the two types of basic legal form business. But before that, I will be discussing first the definition of basic legal form business. So what is basic legal form business? It is the legal form a firm chooses to operate under is an important decision with implication for how a firm structures its resources and assets. Several legal forms of business are available to executives. It involves a different approach to dealing with profits and losses. The legal form, also known as a legal status, is defined according to national legislation. It is useful for eliminating ambiguity in identification, searches, and as the possible criterion for selection or stratification for surveys. It is also used for defining the institutional sector statics according to legal form are produced in business. The character of legal our natural person is decisive in fiscal terms because the tax regime applicable to the unit depends on this. It means that any statistical register fed with fiscal records will have the information. Experience has shown that legal form will often be useful to make adjustment to information collection processes and questionnaires on the legal unit operating an enterprise. So a code representing the legal form should therefore be recorded in accordance with the classification of legal forms or categories. So let's moving forward to types of basic legal form business, which is the sole proprietorship. So what is sole proprietorship? A sole proprietorship, a type of business entity that is owned and run by one individual. So there is no legal distinction between the owner and the business. So sole proprietorships are the most common form of legal structure for small business, which means it is firm that is owned by one person or a small business. From a legal perspective, the firm and its owner are considered one and the same time. On the plus side, this means that all profits are the property of the owner after taxes are paid off, of course. So as you can see to our PowerPoint presentation, sole proprietorship have advantage and disadvantage for running business. In the advantage, a sole proprietorship, it is first, easiest and least expensive for of ownership to organize. Second, sole proprietorship are in complete control and within the parameters of the law may make decisions as they see fit. Third, profits from the business flow through directly the owner's personal tax return. So the last one is the business is to seek to dissolve if desired. So next, we moving forward to the disadvantage of sole proprietorship to the business. So the first of disadvantage of sole proprietorship is have unlimited liability and are the legally responsible for all debts against the business. their business and personal assets are at risk. Second, may be at a disadvantage in raising funds and are often limited to using funds from personal savings or consumer loans. The third is may have a hard time attracting high caliber employees or those that are motivated by the opportunity to own part of the business. So the last one is the some employee benefits such as owners, medical insurance premiums are not directly deductible from business income, only partially and as adjustment to income. So let's moving forward to the types of basic legal form business, which is partnership. So what is partnership? So partnership is a form of business where two or more peoples are shared ownership as well as the responsibility for managing the company and the income or losses the business generates. That income is paid to partners who then claim it on their personal tax returns. So the business is not taxed separately as corporation are on its profits or losses, meaning is a for-profit business organization comprised of two or more persons. So states law govern partnership under various state laws. Persons can include individuals, group of individuals, companies, and corporations. So as such, partnerships vary in complexity. So it's also have advantage and disadvantage for running business. So let's focus on the advantage of partnership. So the first is partnership are relatively easy to establish. However, time should be invested in developing the partnership agreement. Second, with more than one ownership, the ability to raise funds may be increased. Third, the profits from the business flow directly through to the partner's personal tax return. And the last one is prospective employees may be attracted to the business if given the incentive to become a partner. So, the business usually will benefit from partners who have complementary skills. So, next is now let's move on to the disadvantage of partnership to the business. So, first, the partners are jointly and individually liable for the actions of the other partners. Profits must be shared with others since decisions are shared. Disagreements can occur. So, some employee benefits are deductible from business income tax returns. The partnership may have a limited life. It may end upon the withdrawal or death of a partner. So that's the end of my report. I hope it's clearly and understandable about my topic that I already explained to you. So that's all. Thank you.
Good day everyone, my name is Orlando Fernandez and I am the one who's gonna report the corporation. So corporation is a key difference between a corporation on the one hand and the side proprietorship and the partnership on the other is that corporation involves other. It is that the corporation involves the separation of ownership and management. So corporation sells shares of ownership and the professional executive, and also corporation is a business entity that is owned by its shareholder who elect a board of directors to oversee the organization's activities. Also, a corporation is liable for action and finance of business. It is a group of people elected to govern. So, what is the purpose of corporation? Corporation's purpose is to benefit its shareholders, even apparently selfless corporate acts such as charitable donation are justified as ultimate benefiting shareholders by producing a favorable image and consumer goodwill. That's all. Thank you.
Good day everyone, I'm Brian Debel Sandigan and I'm going to discuss the limited liability company. Limited liability company is very popular form of business, yet it is not actually recognized by federal government as a form of business. Instead, the ability to create a limited liability company or LLC is granted in state laws. Limited liability company or LLC is a mixed features of corporations and partnerships. The owners of the LLC or limited liability company is not personally responsible for debts that the LLC accumulates, like in corporation. And LLC also can be run in a flexible manner, just like in a partnership. Like the limited liability company or LLC owners, this form of business also prevents any individuals like their constituent partners or shareholders from being liable for any of the company's business failures or losses, because all the liabilities will be assumed by the company itself. Although this form of business is popular in the States, it also has disadvantages. And the first is the cost. Limited liability company usually cost more on forming and maintaining it, because the states charge an initial fee, and many states also impose ongoing fees such as annual report and franchise tax fees. And the second is the transferable ownership. Ownership in a limited liability company is often harder to transfer than with a corporation, because with corporation, shares of stocks can be sold directly by the corporations to increase ownership, unless there is an agreement of the shareholders to the contrary. It lets the shareholders to sell their shares to someone else. Typically with limited liability company or LLC, it needs the approval of all members when they are doing something like adding new members or altering the percentage of ownership of all the existing members. And that's all.
So good morning, ma'am. Good morning, everyone. My name is Norjan S. Torang from BSC 2A. So, my report is all about importance of organizational planning. Having an organizational plan is also helpful because a prepared company responds better to changes in the workplace. Furthermore, organization planning clarifies the roles, responsibilities, and expectations of everyone in the company. This helps management make sure they're meeting the determined benchmarks. Planning helps an organizational chart a course for the achievements of each goals. The process begins with reviewing the current operations of the organization and identifying what needs to be improved operationally in the upcoming year from there. Planning involves envisioning the result the organization wants to achieve and determining the steps necessary to arrive at the intended destination success, whether that is measured in financial terms or goals that include being the highest rated organizations and customer satisfactions. So that's all po. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is JRJ Rubio, and now I'm going to tackle about the example of organization design for new venture. Here is some example of it. Example including a strong culture, trustful communication, swift decision making, understood communication and interaction between organization and its part. The third indicator is the goal approach. This approach assesses effectiveness by looking at how well the organization reaches its goal. This is some example of strong culture. When we say strong culture, we share experiences, a history of shared experiences such as difficult problem that we are overcome as a team. Habit, we shared habit such as norm that people keep common areas in our office clean. And the trustful communication, This organization capacity to communicate its ability, competence, and performance to its customer. And swift decision making. These decision making statements are those statements in which the complier needs to make decision on the given condition. If the given condition is satisfied, then the set of the statement is executed. Otherwise, some of the set of statements are executed. And the understood communication is where the force of argument or reason prevailed in discussion. The interaction between the organization and its part is also called interactive dimension. It is the modeling dimension that is formed by constructs to present standardized action and interaction involving the element from the structural and functional dimension. And that's all. Thank you.